Idiot Radio, taking it to the edge and back.
Brace yourself for an earth-quaking shock. Nothing you have ever seen, nothing you have ever felt could prepare you for this colossus of entertainment.
The Double D.
It's a Monday edition of the Double D Show. We're actually live on a Monday, Vinny.
Hey, yes, we are.
That's great. We don't usually do that. We usually podcast on Monday. We go in the studio on Sunday. But if you're listening live, we appreciate it. That means you're listening to us live on TuneIn Radio, Apple iTunes Radio, our free Idiot Radio app. It's 101. We did this 101 times.
It's hard to believe we're this far.
Yeah, it is. We got a lot going on. Before we bring our guest in, did you hear this yet? You know who this is. Let's just say who this is.
Whoopie scoop. Scoop dee whoop. Whoop dee scoop dee poop. Poop dee scoop.
You know who this is?
I know who it is.
Whoopie dee scoop whoop poop. Poop dee whoop scoop. Poop. Poop. Scoop dee whoop. Whoop dee scoop.
It's the new Kanye.
Whoop dee scoop poop.
That's pretty bad, isn't it?
Maybe he's coming out with a children's album.
I don't know what he's doing.
He's a dad now, right? He has a couple kids. And
I think he's trying to agitate people.
yeah, I mean, the album's coming out. I mean, I don't necessarily agree with the TMZ thing, but we talked about it before the show. Is he borderline genius or is he batshit crazy?
I think he's right down the middle.
Yeah.
He's half bipolar on top of it, you know?
Yeah, so it's a Monday show, and we're broadcasting live from our Idiot Radio Studios, 734 Brookline Boulevard, inside the Brookline Pub. So the podcast, you can get the podcast all week. You'll be able to get it because it's the only show we're doing. You can get it on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, Spreaker, YouTube, and iHeartRadio. There we go.
When you come in on Monday and you're not feeling real well, does anyone ever say to you, sounds like someone has a case of the Mondays?
Shit, no, man. I believe you get your ass kicked saying something like that, man.
Yeah, today's Monday.
No, Saturday!
No, today's Monday.
No, Saturday!
No, I'm sorry. Today's Monday.
What day is it? Monday? Oh, Monday! Thank God it's Monday.
You're the only moron in the whole world who actually likes Monday.
Have a super awesome day of positivity.
Fuck off.
Well, it's Monday, Vinny.
It is Monday.
It is actually Monday for a change. So we got a good big guest in today, our buddy. Let's welcome back to the show from the River's Edge, Meadow Edge, host of River Talk. Let's welcome back our buddy Brian Crawford.
I'm kind of jealous here. You guys, I'm here with a big taco salad. I've got wings. This is great. All I have is cheap Keurig coffee back at my studio.
Well, you know what? It's always good to see you, buddy. It's been a while.
Thank you. Yeah, it's great to be here.
The advantage of being here in the pub, that's we get fatter and drunker.
Yeah, it's great. And you can always get the great beers of Victory, Oscar Blues, Trogs, Bells, or Dogfish Head right here at the Brookline Pub.
Well, we brought you here because we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
So how's everything over at River's Edge and Meadow Edge? I mean, you guys, I was just over there not that long ago, and I was kind of jealous of the studio and all the fancy digs you got over there. And
yeah, we have a beautiful studio. It's great. We just transitioned. So we've had this X32 board, which is this really high-tech digital board that you can actually control with an iPad. It's really nice.
Wow.
And we've been planning on utilizing this board, but we wanted to utilize it after the festival. Okay. Well, our old board broke, so now we're trying to learn how to do all of this in the middle of planning the Millville Music Festival.
Well, that's why you're here.
Yes.
We're talking about the Millville Music Festival.
And that's why I mentioned those great beer brands of Victory, Oscar Blues, Trogs.
Are they sponsors of the event?
They are. They combine their forces to be the headlining sponsor of the event.
Very nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
So the Millville Music Festival, it's taking place this Saturday, right? May 12th.
Yeah, it's actually going to be Friday night and Saturday.
That's the opening, right?
Yeah, the opening night.
Show, right?
Friday night. That's going to be at the Pittsburgh Food Park at Millville's Riverfront. and it's a new establishment to Millville, and they actually helped us book all of the food trucks and food vendors
nice.
for the music festival.
Wow,
so they've been a great help.
Good.
And I'm going to be hosting that stage, so that's going to be a great time.
That's going to be fun. And then I'll be at a stage,
You
too.
will be, yeah.
What stage am I?
You're going to be at what we are calling the sweet spot, where we are going to have a bunch of
That's right,
street
Vinny.
performers. Yeah, and they're going to have some sort of a sweets food truck there as well.
Very nice.
Which will be great. And all of the street performers are going to be there, so you'll have fire dancers, you'll have belly dancers, you'll have one guy who's called Andrew the Impaled, who actually nails a nail into his head, among other things. So you're going to have a pretty dynamite stage. It's the first time we've added something like this to the festival, so you're breaking ground here.
That's kind of like going back to our roots, Vinny, when I would get darts and stuff thrown in my butt, so I'll feel right at home with those people.
Yeah, actually, thinking about it, with some of the antics that you guys do here on the show, that could fit right in. That's kind of a perfect match.
Yeah, the sad part about it, he's going to get happy and want to jump off the stage. And
No,
join
I'm
him.
not doing I'll be on my best behavior for Brian, I promise. But yeah, I'm excited to be a part of it, and we got to talk about it because there's tons going on. It's an all-day music festival.
It is.
And there's, 20 stages?
Over 20 stages.
Over 20.
And
crazy.
Yeah, between Friday night and the day of, there are 200 bands performing.
Oh, 200?
Yes.
Wow.
So we're advertising over 150 for Millville's 150th birthday, but the actual solid number is 200. We are going to have over 20 artists as well, visual artists, and those artists will be on Sedgwick Street, which we're closing down. It's the street right outside of Panza Gallery. So when you're there, there's going to be bands on that street as well performing, and then there's going to be visual artists lining up both sides of the street along the sidewalks that you'll be able to go and buy their art, and that all leads right into Panza Gallery, which is going to be a later stage. So as that stage shuts down, Panza Gallery will open up, and you can walk into the art gallery and see music down there as well.
Incredible.
Yeah.
This is probably one of the most diverse festivals that I've seen in the entire city. I mean, now last year was your first year, right?
It was, yeah.
And so a lot of growth between last year and this year. I mean, you've more than doubled the amount of acts that are going to be there.
Close, yeah. We had 119 last year. We moved up to 200, but we also added all of those artists, which we did not have before, and we improved on our street performer presence, which is going to be great. And we have added a few other really interesting things to the festival. First off, we're adding a second shuttle service, so during the peak hours of the festival, you should be able to catch a shuttle every 10 minutes, and that's provided by Z-Trip.
Oh, very nice.
Incredible.
Very nice. So let's take our first break. But
okay.
Before we get into the break, what's your role at the Millville Music Festival?
So I am the guy who brought everyone to the table. I was the guy who was just so gorged on Victory, Oscar Blues, Trogs Bells, Dogfish Head, and Gristhow Spear that I thought it was a good idea to bring a bunch of people to the table and ask the question, can we do this? Can we put together a music festival? And kind of defined a lot of the early rules that people took on, and that's changed and morphed some over the last 2 years, but a lot of that's still intact.
So this is your baby. This is your brainchild, and you basically went to Millville and said, can we do this? Right?
Kind of. The Millville Community Development Corporation was interested in having a music festival, and that's something I had overheard in my time living there, and I thought, if anybody's going to get this together, it should be me, and my team should be heavily involved since we are a local music-only radio station. So I had talked with some different people in the community and brought people together. It was my idea in the beginning, but I hate to say it's just my brainchild because this thing has morphed.
Well, it's evolved, but it started,
started with my idea,
with you,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's growing. And
it is.
It's got to be one of the biggest festivals in the city now.
It definitely is. It's one of the biggest, and also what's great about it is the way we operate it, and this is the way I kind of designed the festival to be. Everybody who comes to the committee has a voice, and we work very cohesively. It's a lot of times it's majority rules on most issues, so it is kind of everybody has their own piece of the puzzle to this festival, and that's why it's so successful.
It's nice to have the committee, and you don't have the whole load on yourself, but it's a cool. This is the second year, and it's a very, very cool thing. It brings a lot of great attention to Millvale. It brings business to Millvale, and the food trucks. Is that going to be? Is there a food truck park there now?
There is.
It's going to be there.
That's where the Friday night event is. So
Okay.
it's not going to be the food truck park. You can still go there Saturday if you want
Yeah.
to get something to eat, but we will also have food trucks in the town as well. So the music at the food truck park will be Friday night, and the reason why we did that is because with all of these great sponsors that we have who are allowing us to provide alcohol, you've got people stumbling. Well, hopefully they're not going to be too crazy drunk, but
Right.
you have potentially people stumbling across a Route 28 interchange.
Yeah.
And I didn't think that was such a great idea, so we decided to keep that on Friday night,
Right.
and then everything else
And
on
it makes
Saturday.
it more of a festival because it's more than one day.
Yeah. Mhm.
So it's
And I think that's as far as we want to expand. I mean, at least that's my thoughts. Maybe we'll change our mind when we talk as a committee, but I feel like it almost might be a little too overwhelming if we go into a third day, all day Sunday.
Well, every year brings great new adventures. So
It does. You never know.
You just take on the challenge and see what it presents for the next following year, and
Mhm.
you adapt. You know what I mean?
And we have some great ideas for next year, too, that
Oh,
will
Lord.
even enhance the
Yeah.
shuttle service even more.
That's
Technology is a big thing with our festival.
That's awesome.
We
And-
really-
And there's some things we're going to touch
Yes.
on with that when we come back from the break. I also want to touch on the diversity of the festival. We're going to go over the schedule. We're going to talk about a bunch of things. The schedule, the stages, all the diversity, the technology. We'll get into all that and more. We're here with Brian Crawford from the River's Edge, Meadow Edge, and he's also the chairman of the committee for the Millville
that's
Music
been
Festival.
that's been my title. We'll go with that.
So my question is, when are you going to run for mayor of Millville?
Well, the mayor's-
It seems like that's in the in your future.
Well, the mayor is actually on our committee,
Is
so
he?
I wouldn't want to oust him. He's a good guy. He was a councilman when he first started, and he was then elected to mayor just recently. And I mean, the community's so bought in. We can even talk about the Millville Police and what a huge asset they are to the festival as well,
Yeah.
and what all is going on with the community. So much support. It's insane.
Well, that's good. That's good.
It's wonderful.
You like to see people step in and put their hand in it, and it makes everybody feel at home, and it's the community, you know.
It is. Yeah, this is owned by the community, and it's great. Most of our sponsors are local in Millville as well,
Mhm.
and the festival's completely funded through our sponsorship money. So
Nice,
it's really
nice,
great
nice.
people coming together.
All right, let's take our first break, and we'll have more with Brian Crawford and the Millville Music Festival. It's the Double D Show. Vinny the Villain's here.
Yes, sir.
And just me. We'll be back right after this.
Looking for a DJ for your next party, corporate event, wedding, or special occasion? Contact Rich Who Entertainment, the official DJ of Idiot Radio. For free quote and information, give them a call at 412-266-1266. That's 412-266-1266. Rich Who Entertainment, DJs for all occasions.
For all your heating and cooling needs, service, and installation, contact our friends at Complete Comfort Heating and Air Conditioning. 412-513-3001. Doesn't your family deserve complete comfort?
You're listening to Idiot Radio, taking it to the edge and back.
Looking for a creative idea for meetings, business lunches, and special events? Call Spiels on Wheels, food truck and catering, and take the stress away. For more information, call them at 724-244-9881 or on Facebook at facebook.com/spielson.wheels.
Vapor Connection in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Premier vaping lounge and proprietor of vaping supplies. We carry everything from mods and accessories to the widest selection of e-liquids in Pittsburgh. Visit our shop in Blawnox and sample e-juice from America's best suppliers. Vapor Connection, Pittsburgh's premier vapor and shop lounge. Vape easy at the Vapor Connection. For more information, go to vaporconnectionllc.com.
It's a Double D Show Monday.
Monday.
Vinny's hanging out. It's nice seeing you on a Monday.
Oh, I wanted to be here, man. I'm glad to see you. Brian, it's always a pleasure to see Brian.
Our buddy Brian Crawford's in the house. We're talking
My
about
mouth is full with this taco salad or this steak salad. It's great.
We're talking big things. We're talking Millville Music Festival, and before we went to the break, we were talking about the. Let's start with the technology. The breaking ground technology is some of the things they're going to be doing that a little different than most people.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to start off with what your plan is with technology with stream? You're going to be doing a lot of streaming and
We will be,
things
yeah.
like that.
So last year we streamed 2 different stages. We streamed the Funhouse at Mr. Small's, which was the River's Edge stage last year, and we streamed the Sidekick Media stage, which was at Element Church. And this year, Sidekick Media, which is one of our great sponsors, actually Sorg, Michael Sorg,
yeah.
he's involved with that.
Oh,
That's one
wow.
of his companies. And Missy Sorg has taken the lead as far as the festival goes. And they're going to be live streaming Element Church again this year. They are also going to be streaming the main one of the main outdoor stages at Gap Park, and they're going to be streaming that from the Millville Music Festival page. And then we'll be streaming.
So all these will be all the Sidekick Media stuff will be on the Millville Music Festival page.
Well,
right?
the Element Church one will be on Sidekick Media's page,
Okay.
and then the Gap Park one will be on the Millville Music Festival page.
Okay.
And then the River's Edge will be streaming the theater stage at Mr. Small's downstairs. That's the River's Edge stage this
now,
year.
is this audio and video or just audio?
Audio and video.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And then, yeah, it'll be great. And actually, this year, I'm kind of excited because we bought this little device that can turn a camcorder into a webcam. So even though we're on the main stage, we'll be far back by the soundboard. We'll be able to zoom in right on the
very
stage and get a
nice.
really good view, which will be cool.
Wow, they're covering everything, aren't
Yeah.
We're trying.
And what's
And
nice
then-
is if you're out of town or you're somebody that's in the show that's doing a performance that day, and you're on one of those stages, your family in California can come watch it.
And that's actually happened before. We streamed an event at Hambones once, and somebody came up to me and they said, I just want to let you know that so-and-so's uncle was able to watch her perform for the first time in his life because
Wow.
of the streaming service.
That's
So
awesome.
it's really cool. And
So-
we're also going to be streaming upstairs in the Funhouse with the Metal Edge.
Oh, very
geez.
cool.
Yeah.
So that's from your studio, right? You're doing that, or
Yeah, we'll set up right in the room. But
Okay.
yeah, so there'll be 4 different streams going. We're going to share them all on the Music Festival page, so you'll be able to easily
yeah, I was gonna
find
say,
all of them.
So that's the easiest way to go, and that's millvillemusic.org, right?
Well, that's the website, yeah, but they're all going to be on the Facebook page, which is
Okay.
just at Millville Music.
Okay.
Okay, nice.
So yeah, just search it out at Millville Music, and you'll be
Mm-hmm.
able to find all the streams. And I think that's another thing that puts you guys in the forefront in the festival department, because you have the technology, the live streams, you have the River's Edge and Meadow Edge radio stations that you run this from, and I think it's a great thing for the community of Millville, but it's also great for people you're kind of setting a standard when it comes to festivals and the internet radio world.
Oh, we're-
Because no one's doing that stuff.
Yeah,
right
and that's
now.
not even all. That's just a part of what we're doing technology-wise. We did a little bit of this last year, but we've enhanced on it this year. So last year we used Google Map integration, where right on the website you can view a map of the festival, and it'll have every location listed right there with the venues and the food trucks, the parking locations, the shuttle stops, everything right there. And now it's even been enhanced where you can click the stage and see the entire schedule for that stage when you
very
click the
cool.
venue
Wow.
on the Google Map. And you could use voice navigating to different
And
maps
you can
if
get
you're
that
not from Millville.
How can you get that?
Right at millvillemusic.org, just click the
Okay.
festival page, and you can even launch it in your Google Maps app. And then also on the actual schedule page, you can then click the schedule and add different bands to your personal Google Calendar and
Oh.
create your own schedule of events where your phone will
Jeez.
notify you throughout the day when the bands that you're looking to see come up.
That's awesome, and
Yeah.
that's very, like I said, before you even told me that. I mean, I think you guys are very cutting edge
Holy
on what
smokes,
you're
man.
doing, and it's impressive, and it's something you don't want to miss, because it also features all of the local acts in Pittsburgh. I mean, it's all Pittsburgh acts, right?
It is,
It's-
everything's within 100 miles of the city.
Oh, nice.
So,
nice.
and then you've been showcasing it on your radio station, but now they can see it live and in person, and see what you guys have already known and what you've been telling people for so long, that the talent in this city is amazing, and it's worth coming out to see. And what better place to do it is at a big festival where you could pick and choose. And now the diversity of the festival, you have all different types
All different types of genres.
stages. So
Mhm.
do you want to do the highlight? And then you said there's over 20 stages. You just want to
Yeah.
go like a quick highlight of this?
Yeah, sure.
So something for everybody, really.
There is. So We're looking here. We have some singer-songwriters at several different stages. There's a few rock stages. We've got a folk rock and country Americana stage. There's the visual art performers stage that we talked about with the Sweet Spot, where you'll be hosting, Todd. We've got rock and punk. We've got indie jam. We have, I know there's an R&B stage here somewhere as well.
Good Lord.
Yeah, there's a great variety. Indie rock. Let's see, dance, pop, and electronic, and that's going to be at Howard's. So there's all sorts of crazy stuff. A metal stage, which is actually a really interesting thing because a lot of music festivals ignore the metal scene, and really hip-hop and R&B as well get ignored at a lot of festivals. I know that the Strip District made a point to have a stage for that, but a lot of times you'll see that missing from festivals. So we really try to be as all-encompassing as possible. Sure. Last year we had a jazz stage, which I think we don't have that this year, but it's harder to get that sometimes. But we'll put some work into bringing that back again. But that was a lot of fun too.
And let me know if you need help. I know people, so
okay,
talk
great.
to me about it. It's not a problem.
Yeah, let's do so. That's all. Yeah, that's what's great about this festival is it's all people like you that just offer their assistance.
Yeah, and there's a lot of passion behind the music. And then you briefly touched on the metal part. And Pittsburgh is probably one of the biggest metal cities in the country.
It's got either the second or third largest scene in the country. The number one scene is in Cleveland, I believe.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy. I wouldn't have thought. I would have thought like Detroit or something. But I knew Pittsburgh was one of the top places, and you guys are right on the compass there at Metal Edge, and you're right there. Right on the ground floor with all these people, and you're promoting them. So, and that's awesome too, because then it enhances River's Edge and Meadow Edge, because that's what you guys do. You do the local music. So then, if you don't know them already, this festival is going to bring them to you, and then it's also going to bring the listeners to you because they're going to want to hear where can I hear these guys? And the only place in town you're going to hear them are on one of those two stations.
Sure, and whenever we first started looking into building the River's Edge originally, that's how we found a lot of our artists as we went to festivals like Rant and Deutschtown and the Strip District Music Festival and looked at who they were booking.
Rivaling them. I mean, as far as top festivals in the area.
Well, the nice thing about the festival scene too is everyone's very collaborative and cooperative. For example, Ben Soltez, who's one of the founders of Deutschtown, is a volunteer at our festival this year. Cool. And Hugh Twyman will be there taking pictures. He's taken pictures last year as well. And we've given them some shout-outs on our social media through the Millville Music Minute and things like that. So there is a lot of back and forth. Right. And it's not cutthroat. That's what's nice about it. We're all on the same team. We all want to just do good for our community and do good for the music scene.
Right. And you said the Millville Minutes that you guys are doing on River's Edge, right? You're doing those on River's Edge?
Yeah, so it's a production. It's for the Millville Community Development Corporation, but it's produced by us. So it's kind of like a branded content show that we use as part of our sponsorship.
Okay. Now, if somebody's on the fence and they're not sure if they want to make it out to Millville to see the festival, these Millville Minutes will really get you up to date on what's going on in the festival, and it's going to sell you on if you're on the fence. It's going to push you over the edge to get you ready. It's like how I tied that over the edge to get you.
Yes. Well, what's fun about it is
where can they find those Millville Minutes?
So they are on Facebook. They're also on YouTube. And if you go to millvillemusic.org, I believe they have a back catalog of them there as well. Okay. And what's great about the Millville Music Minutes is so it is an informational show, but it's not dry. So one time we were talking about the Groundhog fundraiser that we had coming up. Right. So we actually had a groundhog who was, I believe her name was Millie, and she wakes up once a year and comes out of her slumber to go and listen to music and look at art, and she'll make a determination and a judgment whether the music festival will be successful this year. So we'll do things like that. We had the Millville, the Groundhog in studio, and we had an interview with the Groundhog and talked about, we were able to get it up a second time to talk about the upcoming fundraisers. So we'll do things like that we try to make it fun and creative and not dry and boring. And we'll do our band announcements on there when we first make decisions and things like that.
Very cool, very cool. Some of the highlighted bands, like some of the bigger name bands in the city, where will they be? Do you have any of that on hand for you right now?
Yeah, so there are going to be really some great performers everywhere.
Right.
Really every stage has several good performers that people would spend money to go see. Well, really, any of these guys are good enough to spend money, but some of them are obviously more bigger names. Gene the Werewolf is often played on even terrestrial radio stations. They're going to be performing at the Gap Park stage. Meeting of important people, they perform everywhere. They perform at the Three Rivers Arts Festival often. They performed at First Night. They perform at a bunch of different large events in the city, and they're going to be at the theater stage, as well as Jim Donovan, who was of Rusted Root and Drowning Clowns. So there's going to be a lot of really big band names everywhere. The Red Sins are really great with their publicity. I mean, they're a great band, but they also do this awesome publicity for the local music scene where they do this show. It's a really cool podcast. It's called Backseat Guitar in the Car, and they actually will put a couple people to perform in the backseat of a car. And I was involved in some of the episodes, and with one of the groups, they had a full keyboard and a kind of some sort of a maraca or something that was in the backseat of this car performing.
That's awesome. I like the you do one at the River's Edge. You do a podcast from the car.
We do the Culture Cruise. It's our
Culture.
museum review podcast.
I like that format. People like Seinfeld has really brought a lot of attention to that. And what's that guy's name? James Corden.
Yeah,
I think his name is.
That show has been on
the
hiatus.
Karaoke thing.
But right after the festival, it's coming back. The Culture Cruise, which I'm excited about.
And you can get that at riversedgepgh.com, right?
Yeah, and also on iTunes and Google Play and a few things like that.
The website's your one-stop shop.
Yes, exactly.
It's the easiest place to go instead of going and searching, and it's so hard to explain to people. I mean, being in our shoes too, I just say, hey, just go to idiotradio.net. All the links are there.
Exactly.
And then you could pick and choose where you want to go, podcast-wise or video-wise, whatever. But
I know it's confusing. It's exhausting to be on so many different platforms. But if you're not going to reach everybody.
Yeah, well, it's got to be user-friendly, and which both sites are. Actually are.
Yeah, that is true.
So let's just run it down real quick. Just a quick rundown of the Millville Music Festival. The kickoff party, the kickoff show, is Friday night, May 11th.
Yes.
And that's taking place where?
That's going to be at the Pittsburgh Food Park, which is in a weird location. So when you're coming into Millville, you'll see this train that runs alongside Millville. There's a little train bridge. You go underneath that, and then you'll find a road that will take you right to the food truck park. So
now
that's where it's at.
Is that headed back towards the river?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you're going back towards the river. So if you're on your way to Millville Riverfront Park, you'll see the food truck park on your left.
So the kickoff show, if you're going to the kickoff show, besides the food trucks, what will they expect to see at the kickoff show that they won't see on Saturday?
Yeah, there are a lot of really great performers that are going to be at the kickoff show. To name a few, I can pull it up here. I know the Park Plan will be there. The Optimists, which is a really interesting story. They are a band that was performing at Panza Gallery, where I went for a networking meeting, and that's where I met my business partners. So they were there at the beginning of the River's Edge, and they'll be the first band opening up the first Friday night edition of the music festival. They'll be there. Loyola, which is a brand new band. It's pretty new, and Mike Speranza, who's the owner of Mr. Smalls, is in that band, as well as Jeremy Kaywood, and it's a really great band. The Dark Lines will be there. The Bleepy Things and the Park Plan will be there as well. And the Park Plan is a band where a bunch of people kept going to the booking committee and were like, we got to get the Park Plan in. We got to get the Park Plan in because they're great. So it's going to be a good lineup.
That's a fun night to say, hey, we're going to have a few drinks. We're going to eat some good food. We're going to listen to awesome music. And this is going to get us everybody excited for the 12th, the very next day, and it's an all-day. We didn't say this earlier in the interview, but it's an all-day, 100% free event.
It is,
and it's just something, and it's all ages, which is great.
Yeah, it's all ages for most of the stages. Some of the stages are not. A lot of the bars aren't, but yeah, you can bring a family.
So there's a stage in bar. There are stages inside bars.
Yeah, those stages
so
inside
obviously
and
those
outside.
will be 21 and up.
Mm-hmm.
But the outside stages and everything on the street is all ages.
Yep.
Encouraged to bring the family and have fun.
And drink some good beer because that's how we pay the artists.
Okay.
All right.
And so we're going. So what time does the kickoff show start on Friday?
So everything. The kickoff show on Friday, it starts at 5 p.m. So you can get there a little bit early if you want to, just to make sure you see everything. But yeah, the first band will be starting at 5 p.m. And then Saturday, it starts at 11 a.m. and it runs all the way until the end of the day.
Wow.
Yeah, there's actually one band, which I'm pretty excited about this whole concept because it's just a way to hack the music festival. They wanted to perform, but they couldn't because they're Jewish and there's a Jewish holiday that day. So they're performing at midnight.
Wow.
Oh, wow. So this is going all the way possibly till 2 a.m.
It could, so it could go late. Panza Gallery is going to be the last stage that will wrap things up. And let me see if I can pull up what time they're going to be playing. But the band is called Chillant, is the band that's going to be wrapping things up there. And they're a really great band. I mean, every band here is so great. And that's going to be so much fun. Panza Gallery, I pretty much inspired that being the wrapping up stage last year, because last year I get to Millville after work. I had to work overnight Friday night going into last year's festival.
Right.
And I had planned to take just a 2-hour nap. But I get to the community center, and while I'm there, I see this giant vehicle driving by. I was going to drop off coffee to the volunteers. And I just had this gut feeling that that vehicle had to be the stage or something to do with the stage on Sedgwick Street, which is one of the couple streets that we do close down. So I followed it, and sure enough, it was that stage. And we had made a mistake where we didn't give the police, I guess, the most accurate information on what we needed shut down.
Right.
So all of these people, like, there were signs that were put up, but they were put up late, and they were put up too late to tow anybody if they were parked where they're not supposed to be parked. So there were cars there, and there was this big debacle as to whether we were actually going to be able to put that stage up, and we were able to make it work. But I didn't go to bed after that. I was too busy dealing with that. So I had been up for like 40 hours. I hadn't eaten anything but a piece of pizza the entire day. And then I go to the Funhouse, which is the after party that year, and I started drinking.
Oh, man.
And I immediately got drunk. I got wasted.
A mess.
And they're done. They're wrapping the show up. And I yell, "I'm not finished yet." And I tell people, I yelled at the crowd, I said, "I'm going to Millville Studios." And this place was packed. I don't think it's ever been more busy at the Funhouse than it was that night. And a bunch of random people, a few people I knew, but a bunch of random people as well, all followed me down the road to Millville Studios, where I pulled out the beer from the studio, our studio, and we started drinking there. That's not what caused the fire. But we
it was long before
the fire. But we're there, we're drinking. And while we're standing there, Josh Panza, who is Mark Panza's son, he says, "Let's go across the street to the gallery," because they share an alley, Millville Studios and Panza Gallery. So we go across the street, and we go into the basement, and we all start jamming there and drinking in Panza Gallery. Mark's upstairs sleeping, who owns the place. Somebody goes upstairs and wakes him up. And you would think anybody would be furious. He comes down and starts jamming with us. And partying with us.
Incredible.
And we probably partied till 4 or 5 in the morning. I fell asleep on his couch and woke up in the beginning of the morning, and I'm like, oh, no, I got to go. So we then made our way back to my place.
It's a great festival, like we said, all ages. If you need more information, go to millvillemusic.org or just at Millville Music on Facebook, and you'll get all the information, the schedules. You'll get to see the stages on Google Maps, just by clicking on the actual stage. It'll show you the lineup like we talked about earlier. And it's just going to be a great time. Come see me. I'll be at the Sweet Spot.
Yeah. In addition, real quick, also, if you want to learn more about the bands, go to Punksburg's website. They're one of our media sponsors. They've been doing bios on every band that's on the festival.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Very cool.
It's
going to be a great time. So come visit. Come see us. And I don't know. That's it. Hey. Come see me at the Sweet Spot.
Yeah. You like the sound of that, don't you?
I do. That couldn't be after he described. You have to describe the stage and everything. I'm excited now to see what's going to happen.
It's going to be a very cool stage. I'm excited to see it.
Todd from the Double D Show. Ding! Sweet Spot.
In fact, you know what? I'll actually go on live, and I'll be on Facebook as well.
Nice.
Through the Idiot Radio page.
And I don't think
I'll make some occasional appearances on social media. And,
that would be great.
Maybe do some extras with some of the people from the acts and things like that.
Make sure you tag the festival, and as long as I'm not running around like a chicken with my...
Hashtag Millville Music? Is that what
it's MMF18 is the hashtag, but you can also tag the page, and then I'll get a notification. And as long as I'm not running around like a crazy man, which I did last year the entire time, then I'll be able to share it.
When you put all this work into something, you got to at least now that you got the first one under the belt, like the stage thing that you were talking about, all that's done, and you've experienced it. Now you know what to expect, and you'll be ready.
So last year we had 119 bands. I saw one song.
Jeez.
So I'm looking to see at least a couple this year.
Yeah. You gotta get the chance to enjoy it. And
Exactly.
embrace
Yeah. So let's wrap it up.
Okay.
If you want to stick around, Brian,
yeah,
more
for sure.
welcome. But MillvilleMusic.org and at Millville Music on Facebook. It's going to be a great time. So please, if you can make it out, please come to the festival and come visit me. Come visit Brian. Say hi. Tell them you heard us on the Double D show, and it won't get you anything, but we'll give you a handshake.
Maybe we'll give you a guitar pick. We do have some of those. That's one thing. We have some really sick merch this year.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
You got to build that festival up.
Exactly.
And every year it's just going to get bigger and bigger.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So we're going to take a break, and then when we come back, we're going to talk about a movie that wasn't really a great box office movie, but it was it's a cult classic. They're talking about making a sequel to it. Actually, one of the stars of it talked about it this weekend at a music festival. Believe it or not, a WWE superstar is putting his hat into the political ring, and so far has been successful. Another WWE superstar, I should say legend, is ready to return. Ronnie from the Jersey Shore is in big trouble, and we're going to be talking about Cobra Kai.
Uh-oh.
Have you seen it yet, Vinny?
No, I haven't seen it, but
the I guess it would be considered. It's a television show. It's a sitcom, but it would be, I guess if you consider it Karate Kid 4.
Yeah, it has very good ratings. I do know
I guess.
that.
I did a review of it on Double D on the Double D Show Facebook page. You can check what I thought about it, but we're going to talk about it just a little bit here. It's a Double D Show. We're going to take a break.
Yep.
Vinny the Villain's here, and our buddy Brian Crawford from River's Edge, River'sEdgePGH.com, and the Metal Edge. What's the Metal Edge site?
MetalEdgePGH.com.
Metal Edge.
Like to keep it simple.
And the Millville Music Festival, MillvilleMusic.org. That's it. We're going to take a break. We'll be back right after this.
Battaglia Home Inspections, the only place you need to go for pre-purchase, pre-list, or general home inspections. Battaglia Home Inspections is available to discuss how our services can meet your needs. Our impartial and experienced inspectors can help you make an educated real estate investment. Pennsylvania State Certified Real Estate Inspectors, servicing Beaver County, Butler County, and surrounding areas. For more information, go to BattagliaHomeInspections.com or give them a call at 724-987-3770. Does your dog or cat need some much-needed attention and pampering? Money Paws, full grooming salon for dogs and cats, featuring full-service dog and cat grooming, bath and brush, haircuts, nails, ears, teeth, and rear-end cleanup, all done with extra love and attention. It's Money Paws. Schedule an appointment today at 412-207-8250.
You're listening to the Double D Show on Idiot Radio, taking it to the edge and back.
The Brookline Teen Outreach, a nonprofit located in the South Hills of Pittsburgh that offers free programming to youth ages 10 to 18. After school and weekend drop-in sessions provide tutoring, access to computers, community service opportunities, counseling, and life skill programs. The Brookline Teen Outreach is dedicated to making a difference in people's lives by offering success, understanding, and hope in our community. For more information, please visit Facebook, Twitter, or their website, brooklineteenoutreach.org.
Hey, it's TODD from the Double D Show on Idiot Radio. I just want to take a few seconds out to tell you about Wildcat Belts. Ever since we've won the best podcast in Pittsburgh in the City Paper, we've been walking around with a championship belt, and we got it from Wildcat Belts. These guys actually make the real belts for WWE, Nathan's Hot Dogs, many corporate companies, and pretty much every famous championship belt you see on TV, these guys make. Andrew and his staff hooked us up with that sweet championship belt that you see in our pictures. You can get one for yourself. All you have to do is go to wildcatbelts.com. It's a great idea for fantasy sports, corporate awards, prizes, and so much more. For more information, go visit wildcatbelts.com and tell them TODD and Idiot Radio sent you.
We're back on a Monday edition of the Double D Show, and actually we're here on a Monday, believe it or not. our good buddy Brian Crawford's hanging out with us.
Woo! And
Vinny the Villain, I think he had to go to the potty. He had to take a potty break, but he's old, so he doesn't. He pees a lot.
He was just having too much of a good time drinking such great beers. Should I go through them again?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Victory, Oscar Blues, Trogs, Bell's, Dogfish Head, and Grist House. Those are all the beers.
You can get them all. I think you can get most of them here at the Brookline Pub,
yeah.
734 Brookline Boulevard. But they're also sponsors of the Millville Music Festival. MillvilleMusic.org to get more information. Tenacious D just announced that they're making a sequel to their movie.
I know the movie, yeah, wow.
The Pick of Destiny, it's called. All that, but the movie did terrible in the box office. It only did like $14 million with a $20 million budget.
Wow.
So they ended up losing. Oh. But in DVD sales, they made up for it because they did over $12 million.
Really?
So the movie ended up making a profit, even though it tanked in the box office.
I wonder why.
It just had such a cult following. From I know there's a lot of people that are big Tenacious D fans.
Sure.
And Jack Black was at a festival this weekend on May 6th. He did an interview. And he said that they're going through with it. The Shaky Knee Festival. He said it's happening and it's coming out this year.
Nice.
So talk about Tenacious D, Vinny.
Mm-hmm.
The movie did Pick of Destiny did terrible in the box office, and it did very well. It has a cult following. When I say cult following, it did very well in the DVD sales.
Mm-hmm.
So Jack Black announced that. Yesterday, May 6th, that the sequel's happening and it's coming out this year.
Oh,
so,
nice.
I'm a huge Tenacious D fan, but I like Jack Black. And
it's been
so
long since I've seen it. I remember enjoying it and liking it. Yeah.
I just don't remember.
That's how I am.
I think the more I put in my brain, some of the stuff just falls out.
Well, I mean, you're a very busy guy here with everything you have going on here, and then you've got a job on top of it. I'm the same way, and I think once you get so busy, your mind becomes mush, and things you just forget things.
Yeah, if it's not superheroes and naked people, I'm just I fall apart. And wrestling anymore, you know Kane, right?
Yeah, he just won, right?
Yeah, he ran for mayor. He's on. It was just the primaries. He's the Republican candidate.
Really?
Glenn Jacobs. He won by 17 votes, and in his Knoxville County Knoxville County, where he lives. I guess you can't be mayor if you don't live in the town. Like Brian's going to be mayor of Millville in about 10 years.
Oh yeah, it's definitely coming.
But he
punish me.
He definitely won by 17 votes.
Wow. Incredible.
Now there's a little bit of controversy though behind it, because there was some kind of a cyber attack on the Knox County website. It crashed for over an hour during the polling.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't taint any of the votes or the tallies of votes, but the standing mayor, I guess the guy that he beat, is kind of upset, and he doesn't want to ensure that this kind of thing doesn't happen again. So
suck it up, man.
I don't know if it's going to result in recounts or a revote. I don't know if they'll do a revote or anything like that. I'm not too sure, but there's a little bit of controversy around it. But some of the wrestlers in the past that threw their hat into the political ring, Jerry the King Lawler.
Oh, wow.
Linda McMahon, if you remember back a few years ago.
She's not working for Trump, right? Isn't she?
I believe she does have a position with Trump. I know the McMahons and the Trumps are good friends. I mean,
why is it that all of these people associated with wrestling are all Republicans? It seems so weird to me.
Yeah, it seems like, because when I think wrestling, I think Walmart shoppers, and they're definitely not Republicans.
Well, a lot of them are.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah.
But I think she ran for Congress at one time a few years back. Somebody else some of the other people, Rick Steiner, he's in some local government where he lives. Rhino, I believe, did a mayor thing, and Jesse the Body Ventura, I think he was the governor of California or something.
Yeah.
Him and Schwarzenegger. So yeah, I mean,
and conspiracy theories.
It seems like wrestling is like, and politics are for some reason shaking each other's hands lately. I remember when Glenn Jacobs started this political role where he was getting involved more in politics and he was cleaning up his image. And I remember he was reading children's stories at like a nursery school.
Oh, wow.
And if I was a child, and my child probably would have been horrified at the fact that Kane is sitting there reading him stories. He wasn't in his Kane get-up, but still.
That would be great if he was. How awesome would that be?
Wow.
What a great visual.
Incredible.
But it was so crazy how he had support from all of the wrestling community. Ric Flair came out. The Undertaker came out. You know, all the guys were out there helping him. And I think even in some of the photo ops that he did closer to the election, he pulled the wrestling card and had people posing with him with the mask.
He might as well
on.
have, because that's how. So Trump won. Basically, I was watching this documentary, and I didn't realize this, but in many ways he mimicked a lot of what Jesse Ventura did when he ran for governor, and he stole a lot of the ideas, so he was pretty much running as a wrestling character for president in a lot of ways.
Well, he is a Hall of Famer, WWE Hall of Famer. He caused Vince McMahon to lose his hair.
Well, hey, you know what? If it works, it works. And I mean, Kane, I'm glad he didn't hide who he was, because that's who everybody knows
you can't
him for.
pretend.
See, what Trump should have done, though, is he should have given Vince McMahon his doctor, because remember, he's got that hair cream.
Oh, yeah.
They could have worked together there, too.
Yeah, they could have. I noticed, like, Vince, I think that was like a cancer thing with Vince, why he did the hair, because if you've seen his hair, like, up before the haircut, it looked crazy. And then, like, when it came back, it looked like the old Vince. I don't know. That's a little too wrestling.
Yeah.
But one more wrestling story, and then we'll get in on some of the other things. There's a big comeback scheduled. It's in the works right now. In fact, you should know this is Vinny.
Okay.
No?
No.
You don't know who this is?
No.
Hulk Hogan.
Oh, my God.
Hulk Hogan's making a big comeback, and one of the big things that sparked this, people, I think the wrestling world has been waiting for this for so long. The thing that sparked it is they had this big show in Saudi Arabia a couple weeks ago, and it was crazy because they're so WWE's been saying how they're on the forefront, with the women's wrestling and the women's revolution and things like that, and the women weren't allowed to perform there. And actually, WWE got heat from the Saudi Arabian people because there were like video montages on the screens in the arena that had the women wrestlers on there.
Ah, yeah, that would drive them nuts.
That was that caused a little bit of problems, and then plus they got heat because they went over there and the women weren't included, but they took care of the women, they paid them and everything, and this is how out of touch these the Saudi Arabian princes were. And I guess the arena was named after the guy that set this whole deal up. I think it's like a 10-year deal, but he requested 3 wrestlers.
Who's that?
He requested The Undertaker, The Ultimate Warrior, and Yokozuna. But Ultimate Warrior and Yokozuna are dead.
Yeah.
And then Hogan was also on the list of people. So they're thinking, they were efforting to get Hogan to go to Saudi Arabia. And, that's where the start of the talks between WWE and Hogan started again. Mm-hmm. And then also he was rubbing elbows with Vince and Triple H at the Andre the Giant red carpet for the Andre the Giant documentary, which if you are a wrestling fan or even an Andre the Giant fan, I recommend you go see it.
Okay.
That's going to be a lot of fun.
It's on HBO, and the only reason I saw it, I don't have HBO, they did a free weekend on Xfinity, and that's the only reason I've seen it. But I enjoyed it. I loved it. It was a very cool side to see of Andre the Giant. So it was like I said, it was enjoyable, and I don't know.
That's going to be an awkward conversation, though, right? Because didn't they kick Hulk Hogan out of the Hall of Fame?
No, they didn't. I wouldn't say they kicked him out because he's in there for that and the NWO, I believe.
Okay.
They just kind of just erased him.
Yeah.
Because it was all the racial, when he was dropping the N-bombs on video.
Yeah.
When his daughter was having relations with a rapper or something.
Yeah.
But now he's been commended lately by WWE, and he's showing up in video montages and things like that. He's doing a lot of like work with Boys and Girls Club, and he's doing speeches and things like that, and talking about using your words and how these words affect people. And so I mean, he's doing a PR campaign. But I noticed when all that stuff hit the fan, Vinny, and I think we talked about it on the show. He on social media, on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. It was like every day he made sure he posted a picture with a black person on social media.
Well, truthfully, I don't think he's a racist guy. It's just I think it caught him off guard.
That was all part of that sex video that was out and all that. And he won that lawsuit. I think he got like $140 million, but it was Bubba the Love Sponge. He was on Sirius XM at the time. And his wife, they were like wife swapping and stuff like that.
Wow.
And the wife was videotaping and all that crazy shit. But, I mean, I want to see him at least back there before he dies. I don't think he's going to be in a wrestling role. I'd love to see the daughter come in and with the success of Flair's daughter, keep that rivalry alive and watch it through there.
But isn't she kind of a hero, whereas he was a heel?
She teeters the line.
Okay.
She's him. I mean, she's exactly like him, but she is in a class above all the other females. I would say the female workers are great, but she's just at a different level than all of the rest of them.
She owes it all to her father. That's for sure.
Now I teased it in the break. The Cobra Kai. It's a I would say it's a sequel to Karate Kid 3. I guess it would be Karate Kid 4. They made another Karate Kid, and it was with the girl and Mr. Miyagi. But this is this would be, I guess, considered Karate Kid 4. I guess 4 or 5.
Going back to the starts.
Based on the name, I thought it was an episode of G.I. Joe.
It's really good. It's a so it takes place in the current time, and see how the loss in the All Valley tournament takes. I don't want to give any spoilers away, but it takes place now, and how their lives have changed after the tournament, the All Valley tournament, where Daniel won and Johnny lost. And it's crazy because now they have kids, and it shows Johnny's life now and Daniel's life now, and what's nice about it is that it focuses more on Johnny. And it gives you Johnny's backstory and why he was such a dick in the original Karate Kid movie. And
I could tell you enjoyed this.
Oh, I love that. And I wrote, like I said, I wrote a review of it, a non-spoiler review on Double D Show Facebook page.
What did they do about Mr. Miyagi though? Because
they do pay a tribute to him, and what's nice is they pay a tribute to the original trilogy. By doing flashbacks and
they
cameos.
They should have done a Grand Moff Tarkin type of deal like they did in Star Wars, where they CGI'd his ass into the thing and put his voice on there.
They definitely do the Rocky type flashbacks where they show him and he goes to see Mr. Miyagi at the cemetery and all that, and it's really cool. And then he's asking him for guidance on something, and he gets like a flashback, like a memory in his head. Yeah. And there's just people from the original series popping in. And
that's cool.
It is kind of cool.
But I was going and I was expecting to hate it because they were calling it a sitcom. So I was like, but they had the right amount of comedy in there. They kind of poke fun of some of the goofy things in the original series that were like kind of cheesy. And it was just all well written. The acting was great. It was just well put together. The story, once you think the story's getting predictable, they throw a twist in there, and it's
you can tell he really likes
keeps
it.
It keeps you on your toes through the whole series. And the other thing I hated is it's 10 episodes. They're 20 minutes long. They stop the episode at 20 minutes. They show a trailer for the next episode, so you kind of get an idea where the next. I want to just watch. I would have wanted. Watch it all the way through.
What station is it on again?
Well, it's the first 2 episodes are 100% free on YouTube.
Okay.
And then the other 8 episodes are on YouTube Red.
Okay.
But I think this is the thing that's really launching the network. And YouTube Red is going to explode through this, I guess, this is what they're thinking.
We'll see.
And they're giving YouTube Red away for free for 30 days. So you could watch, the Karate Kid episodes. And, I mean, like I said, I enjoyed it. You get the 30-day subscription to YouTube Red. I pretty much watched it and canceled it right away. I mean, we're not getting paid by YouTube Red, so I don't have to endorse it or anything.
Yeah.
But I got the service. I canceled it right away, so I don't forget about it and get billed. But it stays active on your phone for the whole month. And what's cool is like you could play a video and turn your phone off, and it still plays. On YouTube, you can't do that; it shuts off.
Yeah,
I don't think there's any ads on YouTube Red either.
No, there's no ads on there. That I do know.
So that's a nice feature. But yeah, Cobra Kai. If you're a Karate Kid fan, watch it. If you're not, if you never even watched it, now Brian, you're a lot younger than us. Did you ever see the original Karate Kid series?
I love the Karate Kid.
Well,
that's a fantastic movie.
If you love it, you'll enjoy the. It's just like a behind the scenes look at their lives, and I don't know.
Wax on, wax off.
I love it. They even touch on that a little bit.
Oh, I'm sure
they do. And like I said, it's you think they're going one way, and then they completely switch it up, and it goes another. And then the finale episode has a cliffhanger, surprise ending / cliffhanger to lead into season 2.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's always the way to do it. That always gets you, too. Thank God when I watched Breaking Bad, I had binged most of it, and I was able to catch my way into the last season because I could not have dealt with those huge cliffhangers at the end of each season. That's so grueling and agonizing to have to wait and anticipate
I always
what's
hate
coming.
when a big movie like Avengers came out, the Infinity War. Like, if you don't catch it within them first 2-3 days like that in Star Wars, you're screwed. You're screwed because the internet leaks everything. Even if you don't know, if you're not trying to see it, it still shows up.
Yeah. I somehow have not seen the newest Star Wars, and I still have not had it leaked to me.
Are
I'm
you
amazed.
a Star Wars fan?
Yeah, so I used to see I've just gotten so busy, that's the problem. I used to see I have the original trilogy in about 6 different box sets, including the original VHS still in the wrapping. So, yeah, I'm a huge Star Wars fan, but
see, now this film was more of a transitional film.
Okay.
It does a lot. Were you a big fan of it?
A lot of people say they weren't.
Star Wars?
The new one.
Solo, we're talking about.
No, we're talking about The Last Jedi.
I liked it, but it took me in places where I was just like, why did we have to go there like that?
Didn't like... I mean, that's not going to spoil it for you. I didn't like the direction they took with Luke. I hated it.
That's what I've heard from so many people, including Mark Hamill himself, who's
he
been
was
critical.
very vocal about
it. And that's what I'm saying, too. I was happy for a minute. I got to see who I wanted to see, and then all of a sudden, it was like exit stage left, and I didn't get it.
Yeah.
Unless they're going to go into a different role with him in the next movie. I mean, they kind of went in. I don't want to spoil it for Brian, but they went into territories that were never explored before, as far as the Jedi powers and things like that.
Exactly, and I thought that. Don't get me wrong. I thought
they got to redeem
cool.
themselves in this next episode because they pissed so many people. They tickled the balls of all the fans in the first one. They gave them exactly what they wanted, and people still bitched. Then they went against the grain and did their own thing in the second one. So now in the third one, I don't know. I'm just.
I will say though,
Abrams is back in the third one.
Here's what I can tell you, Brian. When you look at the Force from what we used to see into where we're at now, it shows the potential where it could go.
Okay.
So I give you that much.
Looking forward to seeing it. Yeah, it's a shame that Carrie Fisher passed away because I'll be honest, she was dynamite in Force Awakens.
She was
good on this one.
And the original plan for the next episode, which would be 9.
Yeah.
She was supposed to be the focal point.
That's a shame.
Of 9. So I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if they're going to switch the Luke thing up or whatever. But I don't know. We're running low on time. Let's bang on a couple things. Did you see Ronnie from Jersey Shore's in a little bit of trouble?
Yeah, I saw it. But what did he do?
He got a little rough with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Let's zoom in on that. Go ahead.
Get out of my face,
Let's zoom in on that.
Come on.
Stop.
Look.
Get off
Let's
me.
zoom in on that. Let's zoom in on that.
Get back the
Why don't
fuck
you want
up.
to show that? Why
Back
don't you
the
want to
fuck
show
up.
that? Why don't
Back
you want
up.
to show that? Huh? Why don't you look? Why don't you want to show that? Huh? Why don't you want to
Show
show that?
you.
Show you fucking getting fucked in your ass like a hooker?
Jesus.
Put your hands on me again.
Seriously?
Seriously. Put your fucking hands on me again. I dare you. I fucking dare you.
Well, the girlfriend went on Instagram Live.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean, you can hear he's getting a little rowdy with her. Wow. So yeah, I mean, I don't really, I haven't heard anything from MTV on their side of it. They still aired the episode last week. They're kind of hypocrites when it comes to that stuff. Like when Snooki got punched, they exploited the shit out of it and then didn't even show it at all.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Well, you know what? I believe it or not, I like Ronnie, but
yeah, I mean,
he just spiked the ratings.
Yeah, and what's crazy is with that type of thing, like you said, it spikes the ratings, but people always have a camera in their pockets at all times, a video, and so even us regular people, we got to be wise to that. And then let's do one more story, and then we're going to get out of here because Scotty Presents is going to be coming in. Did you guys hear about the mystery pooper? Well, they solved it in New Jersey.
Oh yeah, I talked about this actually.
There was a man pooping on a football field in a track at a local school, and it was a rival superintendent of another school district. His name is Thomas. You saw this story, right?
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
Tremglini.
Yeah, I can't remember his name, but what I will say, though, in his defense, if you've ever been constipated, it is kind of like a sport.
But it was happening.
To try to get that
it was
moving
happening
and going.
regularly. It was happening for like a week or two straight. And he is the superintendent of Kellenworth schools in New Jersey, and the coaching staff and janitors and everything at the school at the Hollandale High School were trying to figure out the mystery of the pooper. So they named him the Super Pooper.
That's
because
amazing.
he's the
I did see
superintendent.
that part of the article. Yes,
yeah,
that's great.
he's dubbed the Super Pooper because he's the superintendent. He's a 42-year-old man, and he's on suspension from work with pay until they find this out. But nobody knows the reason why the Super Pooper was attacking this high school track. They think maybe his school lost in the football game that this year. Could be why why this happened, but they're not sure. So
you're saying if the team didn't play so shitty, he wouldn't have to shit all over
Right.
the field.
Very good, Brian. I like that. I like that tie-in.
Whoopity scoop. Scoopity whoop. Whoopty scoopty poop. Whoopty scoopty scoopty whoop.
Only Todd.
Whoopity scoop.
Yeah, I think that's gonna wrap it up. I think
Yes.
we wrap it up on the Kanye poop.
Yeah.
The poop song. It's my new ringtone, I think.
Whoopity scoop poop.
You own it.
So yeah, I think it's gonna wrap it up. Brian Crawford, Rivers Edge, PGH.com, Meadow Edge, PGH.com. The Millville Music Festival taking place Friday and Saturday this week, the 11th and 12th of May. The kickoff show, food trucks, music, and then the full-blown festival on Saturday. Go to millvillemusic.org or at Millville Music on Facebook to get all the information. And come see me. I'll be at the Sweet Spot stage with all the street performers. Come by, say hello. I'll bring some Idiot Radio swag. I'll have some stickers and some wristbands out there, and
Nice.
give them to our fans. Come say hi. I don't know. That's about it, Brian. You got anything
Great.
else you want to talk about?
No,
or-
just come on out. It's going to be a good time. Lots of fun. It's a can't-miss event, and be sure to...
all ages and free.
Yes, and be sure to share...
Whatever
Be
you
sure to
like,
share
it'll
that.
be there.
Yeah, be sure to share that video with people outside of the state.
Yeah, very cool. All the great ways to get the live streams and everything. If you can't make it out, if you're busy with your kids at baseball or you're out of state, just go to the Millville Music Facebook page and you'll be able to see it there. Also, 90s Party, June 9th. We got a 90s
Yes.
party here. We're going to be doing a special. It's our second annual. Not quite as big as the Millville Music Festival, but it's a little 90s party.
It's all right.
We get
Sometimes
90s.
that's good, you know.
Last year we had Zima. I know we don't have Zima this year.
Yeah.
So, but we're going to do a nice little 90s party, and we're going to do a tribute to Bad Boy, 25th anniversary of Bad Boy. DJ Ray versus, I'm going to come out of DJ retirement. I'm going to get on the turntables, and we're going to do DJ Ray versus myself, and we're going to battle it out some of the best hits from Bad Boy over the last 25 years. I think, Vinny, you got anything?
No. I'm glad to be here.
You're better behaved when the rest of the guys aren't here. I noticed that.
You know what? This
You didn't
show
derail one time.
This show wasn't about that. You know, I'm glad
About
to
the
see
festival.
Brian. I'm
Yeah.
glad to see you. Everybody, the festival's going to be great. There's so much entertainment. There's so many things to see for all ages. Please show up and support. Food trucks, taste the food, drinks. Come and join us.
Yeah, it's going to be so much fun.
All
It's
right.
a can't miss event.
It's the Double D Show. We'll see you next week.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
It's the Double D Show.